Oh, we're on. It's happening. Let me know if you can hear me and see me and all those kind of things that are useful when you're doing a live stream. Sorry for being like a minute late. I've literally just wolfed down a load of food because I didn't know how long I would be here. And it took a bit longer. Amazing. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Kelly Rose. Oh, Lisa Joy. I recognise the name. And also Kim. I saw you up there somewhere. Kim Micheletti. You are my first two patrons on Patreon, and I am forever in your debt. Thank you so much. Like, I really, really appreciate the vote of confidence. Like, it's actually something I really, really struggled with, and then I just fucking bit the bullet and just fucking did it, and there you were, both of you, like patron angels. Thank you so much. Oh, where are you all from? Let's have a look. I'm going to try and keep on top of the chat a little bit better this time. Australia, Vermont, Nebraska. Kim, I remember you were in Arizona. Ireland. Cool. Manchester. Nolan. Albuquerque. Fucking hell. Oh, this is always so mad. I love it. Netherlands. Kent. Tucson. California. Oh, wow. Oh, Brenda, you're an Ohio Taurus. How many people in the chat are Taurians? Just out of interest. Oh, hi, Heidi. Nice to see you. Oh, Taurus. Oh, and you, Scott. Scott, thank you as well. Another one of my patrons on Patreon. Forever in your debt. I really, really appreciate the vote of support. Like, really means a lot to me that people see the value in what I'm doing. I feel it. I work really hard at what I do. And so, wait, Taurus. Yeah, Taurus. Wait, there's a lot of holy shit. This has become the cowshed. Oh, there's a Leo. Now then, Leo. Taradburn, I think. What's that? Taurus and a Cancer. Nice. Gemini. Cool. Pisces, Virgo. I've just done the Pisces reading. I haven't uploaded it yet, but it's done. Scorpio. Nice to see you, Scorpio. Oh, and an Aries. Nice. This is cool. But overwhelmingly Taurus. Did we really expect anything else? I think not. Probably. No. And Syrian War of 3. Nice. Oh, right. Right. Before I go any further, let's have a look at this. Do I need to make moderators? Is that something that I should do? Right, to sort of like, patrol the chat and keep it good. Ooh, Cornwall. I love Cornwall. Do you know what, Kerno, man? If I could pick anywhere else in the country to live, I'd go live in Boscastle. I love Boscastle so much. It is the ball game, Debbie. You're absolutely fucking right. Oh, there's some Leos in here, though. I like that. Aries and Aquarius. Oh, fucking hell. Jason Stevens, Sagittarius. Nice to see the Sagittarius represent. Denise, you'll behave. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think the overwhelming majority of people last time were exceedingly well behaved, but it was only when I went back and went through the live chat afterwards, I caught up with some of the less well behaved comments, shall we say. It's a bit of everything in here. No Capricorn. I noticed there's no Capricorn. What else is missing? No Libra. Oh, no Libra there. The artwork behind me, Laura. What is it? This bit that you're referring to? This was actually this was painted by a friend of mine. It's absolutely exquisite. Look at it. I just love it. I loved it so much. I love the colours and everything. I was like, this has to sit behind me in the turret. Put it up here, back up there. She's an incredibly talented artist, my friend. And she sent it up as a surprise, and I was absolutely delighted. Oh, we got Capricorns now then. That's good. Hello from Sweden, Tonya. Nice. This is my first time live. What's happening? I mean, this is my second time live, and I'm still in a kind of what's happening kind of thing. What are my placements, please? Ooh, right, okay. So some of you might have gathered, obviously, I'm a Leo, but the Scorched Earth thing, one of the reasons why the channel is called Scorched Earth is because I am a Leo Capricorn. So, yeah, I have quite a lot of Leo. I'm a stellium. Because I've got a lot of Leo placements, but I have a lot of planets in the eighth house, so that makes the Scorpio influence really, really very strong with me. So, ooh, Libra. Oh, I've got a Libra. The wolf picture. I can't even remember. Oh, I bought that from a shop in Newcastle called Alula. It's absolutely fabulous. I saw it and it looked just like Silas, and I was like, hey, that's coming home with me, definitely. Lisa Joy 4 in Aries, fellow fiery sister. I like it. Just check I'm not missing anything here. Oh yeah, so Scorched Earth, Leo Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn ascendant for my sins. You like the shadow readings, Kelly? I'm so glad, because this is something I've really, really wanted to do for ages. I'm a shadow worker. Like, shadow work is basically what I've just been immersed in the last... It's been a lifelong project, actually, but really seriously for the last 3 or 4 years. And I know the benefit of it. So, what are we going on here? We Scorpios are something, Dana Taylor. You fucking are. Like, you really fucking are. Why do readers say the Three of Cups is the third party card? It's Mercury and Cancer, and I never get the third party vibe. I rarely get the third party vibe either, but sometimes I do, and that's part of reading tarot. And sometimes you just got to go with what you feel, and it depends on what the cards are around it. If it came out, I wouldn't just automatically expect it to be the third party card, but it depends on what's around it. You know, if you've got cards of, secrets and things being hidden and stuff like that, then like it starts to lean towards that. Waiting for the... Did someone say they were waiting for the Aries reading there? Cloud9 Salon. Yeah, I actually just recorded it today. It was I literally just finished doing it actually about 40 minutes ago, which is why I was then rushing to eat my food. I've done all 3 readings for you, the extended and the YouTube and the shadow reading as well, but I cannot upload it and talk to you all at the same time. So when we finish here, I'll set all of that uploading and it will be released tomorrow, along with the last 2 signs, which are Taurus and Sagittarius. Really looking forward to doing both of your readings, actually. Jessica Lewis, you're a Scorpio. Yeah, man. Like I said, 4 planets in the 8th house. I got heavy Scorpio vibes. It's that dark detective. I think is how I see it referred to. Jessima Raimi, yeah, the Taurus reading is coming tomorrow. I haven't had a chance to record it yet, but it's coming tomorrow. Yeah, I'm really, really glad that you've received the shadow readings in the way that it was meant, because sometimes, like I said, it's really uncomfortable work, and sometimes people can kind of flinch away from it quite hard, and that makes me sad, because personally I think you should always lean into the discomfort. Always lean in. Hey Shani, nice to see you. There are so many people that I've done personal readings for here that I'm like, I can see the names popping up. It's awesome. I really, really like it. Kristen, you got a private reading book with me next week. Can you add requests for shadow cards with me? Mate, whether you like it or not, the shadow stuff always comes out in the private readings. Like it's what I do. So pretty much I'm always approaching things from a perspective of incorporating them. Like whether you like it or not, it's coming. So yeah, don't worry about that. It's fine. Laura Englert, I talk like you. Do you swear a lot as well? Do you use the word fuck like punctuation like I do? Can I ask, where are you with the tracking bullshit human domination thing? Do we want to go there? Do we want to go there? Let's just say, as we fucking do. Let's just say I've always had a bit of an issue with authority. I put it that way. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit, and I will fight it with every cell of my being, without being too inflammatory or inciting anything. Scorpio, favorite word is fuck. Yeah, I mean, it's mine too. It's a really good word. You can repurpose it for literally everything. It's got so many meanings. Like, I think it's fantastic. Is it me too heavy? No, it's not too heavy at all. I'm just conscious of not putting my somewhat controversial views onto YouTube, where I can be held accountable for them rather than just beavering away in secret, which is what I like to do. Nicole, I really do use the word fuck like punctuation. Like, somebody once commented on one of my videos that they didn't, and it was a man. I'm just going to fucking put that out there, right? It was a man who said that he didn't like the fact that I swore so much because it sounded like I was putting it on. And I took great fucking exception to that because that then made me feel like I was kind of playing to the camera. That's the impression that I got from him. And I was actually quite wounded by that, because if any of you know me in real life, you'll know that if anything, I'm toning it down for YouTube somewhat. You know, I mean, sometimes I teach kids kickboxing classes and fuck, like, I have to keep my mouth clamped shut because otherwise I'm just like, fuck, shit, what, all the time. And it's obviously, you don't want to do that in front of people's kids. That's not cool. So, fuck my life. Yeah, like, I say that a lot. I have 5 kids. Why would I not swear? I do swear. I swear like a fishwife. And yes, quite a lot in front of them. But I kind of got this thing where I think that actually there's no... It's about the intention with which you say the word. Like, I have never sworn at any of my children, and I never fucking would either. But at the same time, like, I use it all the time, and I think it's useful for them to understand context and when it is right to use it and when it's not right to use it. And also, you know, then saying it at people, you know, swearing at people is not cool, but using it as part of, you know, your everyday stuff. I love that kids book. Was it Samuel L. Jackson read Go the Fuck to Sleep? Oh, I love that book. I read that book to my twins over and over again. I'm not even gonna lie. Why so tamed? Well, because if I wasn't, like, literally every other word would be fuck. That's the God's honest truth, actually, of it. Yeah. I do try and be. I don't actually try and be genuine. I really don't have a choice. I just am what I am, and you know, maybe some of that's my. Oh, hey, Tammy, nice to see you. Maybe some of that's my brain injury. Right? I lost my filter quite hard after my brain injury. But you know what I mean. I might have 30 years left on the planet. I'm not gonna waste them by pretending to be something that I'm not, doing anything other than living my best fucking life all the time. You're right, Shani. It is like being offended by a Chartreuse yellow. Do I miss law? Yeah, I kind of do, but then I kind of don't at the same time. Like, what I really, really loved about law was the intellectual rigor of the thing. But then I think that you can apply that to anything that you're doing if you're that way inclined. And I hope that I apply intellectual rigor to my readings as well. So, as my son said to me a couple of months ago, it was really, really smart. He is really smart. I don't know why I'm surprised. But he saw one of my videos and he said, I didn't I didn't realise that the skill set for being a barrister and for being a tarot card reader were quite so similar. And I kind of went, what? And then I went, oh, that's a really smart observation. And it's right, because you are looking to, on your feet, find the narrative, find the truth in the matter. And that was, I thought it was a particularly astute observation of my boy. He's very smart. Right, let's have a look. Is my father Mike Rutherford of Genesis? No. No, not even a bit. Does he have red hair? Is that what did it? Do no harm but take no shit. Yes, a woman after my own heart. I like that. Oh, Crone Alone. It's Jen. Is it Jen? I'm sure that's your name. It's nice to see you. You're not that late, don't worry. I've only been going for like 15 minutes, and God knows I'll probably be still here this time tomorrow. Is there a better sign placement to watch for the shadow videos? Sun versus moon versus riding? No, so like I set the intention for sun, moon, rising. But honestly, with the shadow reads, more than any other that I've done, I think that they apply across the board, really. And if you're drawn to look at a particular reading, it's for a reason. That's what I would say about that. Moon, maybe, because there's kind of emotional stuff in there, but we've all got a shadow. And I think once you start picking away each shadow, once you acknowledge it's there and you start looking for things, then you see it coming out in all aspects of your life, like all of it. Crone Alone. Yep, awesome. I remembered a thing. How cool is that? You're saying it's not barista, it's barrister. It's different. Instead of the STA at the end, it's STER, barrister. It's a very learned profession. Like Rumpole of the Bailey with the wigs in the English court and stuff. That was what I was saying. Do you tend to lean towards your sun, moon, or ascendant when you view your own readings? Tammy. So because my sun and moon is the same, most Leo, so that kind of makes that easier. I think I resonated more with my ascendant right up until my until my brain injury, because I just driven, never any downtime, just forward. Well, like 2 degrees, near enough. 5 children, a shitload of animals, a job. Like, you can't balance all of that stuff out if you have any downtime ever. And I was just like always driving forwards. And now I resonate very little with my ascendant sign. It's almost like I kind of grew through it, I feel. And now I'm back to being like full-blown Leo. I think, anyway. I hope so. That's the plan. So you think you lean towards ascendant? Yeah, like, I mean, I set the intention when I read for those 3 specifically, because I think those 3 are the 3 most important. They're the ones that take up the biggest wedge of what makes you who you are in a general reading, personally. And yeah, over the years, resonated far more with being a Capricorn than being a Leo. But like, I'm back as a Leo now. Thank you, Alma. I really, really appreciate that. That's really kind of you. Thanks. Let's have a look and see what that is there. Nicole, do you ever get distracted with your own stuff when you read for your signs? Now, it's funny you should fucking mention that, actually, because yes, I do. And this is actually quite an important point for anybody who ever wants to read tarot. Like, if you want to be really, really good at reading tarot, high vibration is really, really important, right? So kind of being on top of your own shit. And I don't mean like, whether you've done your dishwasher or anything like that, but like what is going on with you is really, really important. And if there's anything that's kind of not dealt with, I don't think that you can read to your best ability. But sometimes like shit comes in that you don't expect, rather. And then that will have an effect on your ability to read. For example, I got a message from someone the other night that was unexpected, and just before I went to bed. And I read it, and I raised a mental eyebrow. And then I went to sleep. And I got up the next morning, and I'd been working really, really well over the previous 2 days. Really hit my flow state. Was feeling really, really good. Got loads of videos done. I got up that morning after receiving that message, and I was like, I struggled all day. I was in here from 10 a.m. till 5 a.m. and it took 5 p.m. and it wasn't until 5 p.m. that I finally finished the Aquarius shadow reading. I had been trying to do it all day, and then I put it down and tried to do a different sign. And what it was this message that I got the night before, right? It fucked me off because it caused a chain reaction of things in my head that actually I needed to pay a bit of attention to. If you're distracted by anything, you will never read to your full capacity, right? To your full ability, just where it happened. Right. So, yeah, it's a thing, right? I think I got more animals than children. At one point, I did have more animals than children. My 2 geckos died last year, so now I'm back to having more children than animals. But I like it. I like being surrounded by animals. I don't know if that's maybe a really quintessential Leo thing, though. Enlightened Leo, yours seems to change month to month. Yeah, like, and it does. Like, for years, when I used to read for myself, I always came up as the Queen of Swords, interestingly. But I wasn't in a good place then, at that point. So, yeah, it's not really a surprise. And then bit by bit, I kind of moved into the Queen of Cups, and then, like, just last year kind of exploded into Queen of Wandsness, and I like it here. I think I'm going to stay. That's the thing. Can you recommend how to use and draw from the midheaven placement? Do you know what? I don't actually know a lot about the midheaven placement. Like, I'm not an astrologer, and I don't hold myself out to be. I do know a little bit of, astrology stuff, and I understand the signs kind of psychologically quite well, but I don't really know much about the midheaven heaven placement. I don't really know what it is, except that it's not really a thing. I know that it's a point, like the nodes are not real planets and placements. They're kind of like an imaginary spot. And I know that mine's in Scorpio, but I don't know what to do about it. Do you know what? Actually, fuck. Oh, I've got a piece of paper down here. No fucking pen, though. Really? Oh. I have a pen. It's all good. I'm going to look it up just for you. That Christine, I am going to look it up. I'm going to find some way of dropping it into a video at some point soon. Midheaven placement, because I genuinely don't know what the point of it is, and I don't like it when I don't know things. So sometimes I do like it when I don't know things, because it gives me something new to investigate. Actually, it's quite exciting. Let's have a look. Me being Virgo, Sun, Aquarius, Moon, and Aquarius ascending, does that make me crazy? Yes. No, it doesn't, but it does make you complicated, I would imagine. Very fucking complicated, and potentially difficult to be in a relationship with. It just means you've got lots to work with, though. That's good. It's Rhonda Joe. Often wondered if some readers were filtering their interpretations issues. Yeah, always, because that's what makes readers different. When you find your own voice as a reader, it's because it's you are doing exactly that. You speak from what you know, and I'm a shadow worker. I see things from a kind of darker, more internal perspective, because that's my human experience, right? So that's where my power in reading comes from. I can read for love, but I don't really like to, because actually, haven't been terribly awesome at that in my life. I've made a series of very kind of, I made the best decisions at the time, but they didn't always pan out quite as successfully as I would have liked. I'm not really an expert in that. I fucking know what I'm talking about when it comes to the shadow and the dark stuff, though. So, yeah. I saw Sarika there somewhere. I saw you. Where are you? I saw your name. I know I did. Oh, Kim, holy shit. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that. You're an absolute darling. My God. Oh, Sarika Richard. There you are. I knew it. It's another person that I've read for as well. Like, I recognize all of your names. It's really cool. Nicole Johnson. Yeah. Nancy, are you prohibited from relaying negative aspects you see in a reading? No. Right? Because nobody prohibits me from doing fucking anything, frankly. Right? I'm just going to throw that out there. But there's kind of a code of conduct, and it's sort of unspoken, but it's something that most readers tend to abide by. The thing is, the way that I read, if I see something negative, like I'm always looking for the lesson. I'm always looking for what it is that it's there to teach you in the first place. So, like, I will bring up the negative stuff, but I like to think that I do it gently, and I like to do it with a view to making you think more about yourself. You know, it's kind of like nicely calling people out on their bullshit, because like I try and be that friend, that friend that will always tell you the truth no matter what, even if you don't want to hear it, whose opinion you can kind of rely on, because ultimately I feel like the negative stuff that we experience in our life, it is all designed to teach us something, and to that end, if you're not looking for the lesson, then you it's kind of sailing over your head, and then you run the risk of kind of having that repeat on you, actually, because that tends to be how it happens. Enlightened Leo, I'm a Queen of Wands. It is the best queen in the deck. Can get a lot of info on Google if you know your birth chart. Yeah, that's true. You can just kind of pick it all apart. Nancy, are you required to sugarcoat what you see or feel? No. I mean, like, some do, some don't. Again, it depends on the reader. I am not that kind of reader. I'm not that kind of friend. And if you're doing something shitty, I'm going to be like, dude, think about what you're doing here. It's kind of coming across as a little bit shitty, When I read for people, like, I experience a level of connection because I can kind of see into you almost. Like, that's a thing. Like, it's a very close and intimate thing to have a reading with someone. And I don't sugarcoat shit. Oh my God, my daughter wants to come and say hello. My daughter, for anybody who's interested, streams on Twitch, and she's just hit affiliate. Come on in. Come on in. Come on, so everybody can see how beautiful we are.
No.
Taz. I want you all to see her, so you can see how much she looks like me as well, which is really, really cool. She's a prettier version of me, but like, come in. They cannot see you there. It's fucking dark. Come here.
No. What's going to? I just want to say I also said something in chat, but
something in chat and I missed it again. This is the daughter that bollocked me last time I did a live stream for not acknowledging the fact that she'd spoken, but I went right back through the live stream. She didn't say shit.
I did say, I commented.
It wasn't it wasn't in the chat replay.
Sound, by the way, it keeps like flickering to some extent.
My sound keeps flickering. Right, let's move this thing here a bit closer and then maybe it won't. Seriously, would you just come and show your fucking face, please? Taz. Come on.
I can't stop smiling.
Come on. That's one of your best features. The fact that you can't stop smiling. This is what she does. This is my daughter. She's 17 and absolutely awesome and rocking Twitch at the moment. So if you're into gaming, go and check out Taryn Was Taken, because she's awesome. Shut the door properly, please. Thanks. And now she's done her little plug for her channel. Actually, I'm really, really proud of her. She's doing really well. You didn't shut the door. She's doing really, really well. I'm very proud. So, fucking hell. Right. Now it is. Let's get down here. Oh. She is so gorgeous. She's absolutely fucking beautiful. Like, she's much prettier than I am. And she's a Sagittarius. And so when I'm banging on about how Sagittarians are like angelic and shit, she is literally an angel in a meat suit, that one. I hope the sound's improved. She said it was a bit shit, so family is number one. I love my family. My family, I'm so proud of my family. They're all incredible people. You know, my pride and joy. She is 1/5 of my pride and joy. Yeah, definitely. Actually, 1/6 because you've got to include Silas in there because he's an absolute darling. Oh, thank you, Heidi. It is straight talking, call you out on your bullshit thing. Like, I'd like to sometimes be a little less sort of brick in a sock kind of approach that I have. Sometimes I'd like to be a bit more delicate, but I don't always do it. Oh, Shelley, you really enjoyed the Arabian Nights? Yeah, so one of my things to do, it's on my list of things to do, is to set up another channel, because those who liked Arabian Nights loved Arabian Nights, absolutely adored it, and were desperate for me to do more. And I'm like totally all about that. I would love that. I actually quite like reading a lot. But the ones who didn't like it really fucking hated it. So it seemed like setting up a new channel was a good idea. I just haven't done it yet. When I do it, I think I'll just like launch straight into like reading Sherlock Holmes or something like that. So there's actually some content on there as well, straight off. And then I just kind of have to build it into my routine to do that. So I will be doing something. Nicole, this is so cliche, but your deep answers. Difference between twin flames, karmic, soulmates. Do you know what? A lot of this is bullshit. I mean, it's not bullshit, it's a thing. But I think the current absolute preoccupation with twin flame relationships is actually starting to get on my tits a little bit, because it's not a nice thing. Like, twin flames aren't a nice thing. It's not a nice experience. Like, it feels amazing at first, and then and then it goes south really, really fucking fast, because your twin is your mirror, and they are designed to trigger the shit out of you, and they do trigger the shit out of you, and they hurt you more than anyone else on the planet is possible hurting you, and then they leave. That's what they do. So like, soulmates are a totally thing. I love, soulmates are fantastic, and they, your soul family and stuff. And when you've got them around you, you fucking know it, because it just lifts your whole everything about your being is lifted when they're around. Twin flames, no, I don't like the preoccupation that there is with it at the moment, to be fair. Like, I'm not enjoying it. I stopped watching most other readers. I've got maybe like 2 or 3 that I keep watching, because of this fucking thing, and this kind of shitty attitude towards karmic partners, like they're evil, the evil karmic partner. And it's like, oh, you fuck off. Like, a karmic partner is there to teach you something, just like a twin flame is, just like a soulmate is. Like, it's all about contracts, and it's just different ways of fulfilling them. And karmics are actually, incredibly important, and I think that they get a really, really fucking bad rap that they don't really deserve. I mean, yes, sometimes they're engaged in shit behavior, but I tell you what, sometimes twin flames are fucking involved in shittier behavior, and that is my god honest fucking opinion on that. Don't even get me started, honestly. I'll just get all like raggy. Shani, you're right. Like, twin flames are a convincing reason to stay in a toxic relationship. And the one piece of advice that I give anybody who thinks they're in a twin flame relationship is, where the other person has left, is just fucking let them go and try. I know you can't, right? Try really fucking hard not to think about them again, because because the only reason they were there was to teach you something about yourself, right? So look for the lesson, look for what it's teaching you, and then let that fucker go, because they will just keep finding new ways to hurt you. That's my opinion, right? I don't know if it's backed up by, spiritual science or anything like that, but that's 100%. That's my thing. No. Your twin flame was like your toxic mum. Funny that. Yeah. readers do I watch? So who do I watch? I watch Radiant Reality. Raphael from Radiant Reality. He's down in London, and I really like his content. And I really like his personality. Actually, he seems like a fucking straight up bloke. More than that, like, there's something quite restrained about him, but I kind of get the impression that he's probably been through quite a lot of shit, and he still manages to keep this really, bubbly personality. But there's a lot going on upstairs. I really like that about him. And even if the message that he has for a particular week isn't resonating with me, I still will watch his stuff anyway, because I appreciate him, like, in all respect. So he's cool. I watch Sun Tarot because I think she's incredible. I fangirled so fucking hard because somebody told her, like, commented on one of her videos that I had, like, referred to one of her videos while I was making mine, and she actually came and commented and said she'd been watching my videos all night. She really liked my work, and I was just like, oh! Actually squeed pretty hard for a while. And I don't really do that with people, so shows you how much esteem that I hold her in, because I think she's really good. She's quite metaphysical, so she's not going to tell you about, the day-to-day stuff. It is, a lot of it's about kind of ascension work and stuff like that. I really appreciate that. Other than her, really probably the only other one that I watch is House of Oshun. Lulu and her bell. I fucking love that woman so much. Like, she's brilliant. Watch Bracha Goldsmith for astrology. She's really good. Lulu is funny. She's fucking hysterical. She gets a bell on. She's just like, she makes me laugh. Like, I don't know if she's a Leo or not, but I kind of feel like she might be. She's got that kind of sense of performance about her that I really appreciate. Yeah. So, just have a look at this. Can soulmates also trigger you as a twin flame? So twin flames are soulmates, but they're like a subdivision of soulmates. Is the thing. So a twin flame is something very specific. That is one soul that's split into two, inhabiting two different bodies, in order to level up faster. Like, if you split yourself in half and you're both experiencing the universe, like, you're learning the lessons faster, and then when you come together, you got kind of twice the knowledge that one soul kind of. That's the theory of the thing. Well, that's the theory. Whether it's, who knows, but my own personal experience of twin flame relationships is something everybody should fucking try and avoid if at all possible. No, that's not actually fair, because I learned a lot from mine, and it was a trigger point for me. Kind of, it was a start of a lot of things. I learned a lot from it, but in the way that these things happen, it wasn't particularly comfortable. So Christine, you're very welcome. Like, it's the reason why I did. I actually really enjoyed talking to everybody, and it kind of blew my mind that there were so many of you from, like, so many different places all here with me. It was just like that feeling of connection was absolutely awesome. Rhonda, you're absolutely right about Sam. Like, she is gifted, and it is all about spiritual development, and that's why I really appreciate it. But I understand that she's not for everyone, because it's all kind of loose and metaphysical. It's kind of, you kind of have to know where you are in your own process spiritually before anything that she says kind of seems to make any sense. I know if I showed it to some people I knew, they'd just be like, what is this? This is weird, but I like it. I get it. So Rafaela. Oh no, that absolutely blows your ears out. mm. Yeah, Ari, you're absolutely right. It is painful then learning. That's walk on eggshells and adapt. Rafaela, that's a really interesting thing. That was my experience of the twin flame. Before I even knew that there was a term for it and that twin flames were a thing, like I'd understood that what I was doing, like the way that I was reacting to this particular person, felt like a forced evolution. That was the way I termed it. A forced evolution. Like I was constantly having to level up in order to keep this person in my life. So I had to work through all my issues of jealousy and, you know, all of that kind of toxic stuff. I had to deal with it all in order to keep them there. And then eventually I found my fucking self-respect and decided that actually I didn't need to do that anymore. But that was the point of it. That's the important thing. Thank you very much, Window to the Soul. I was very, very chuffed. I was literally sat in my back garden and when it happened, I kind of just refreshed the thing and it was like 15,000. Like, so happy. And I'm happy because it's not really a numbers game for me. Like I want to make a difference to people. But the reason that I put myself on YouTube in the first place was because I wanted to help as many people as possible. And like YouTube seemed like a really good platform for that, right? Global reach. So I feel like the more people that get on board, the more people that I'm helping, you know. And I got up at the beginning of this year, literally on January the 1st, and I knew that something was coming. It was kind of like something big, TM, you know. But what was it? I don't know. No, I said this in my readings all year. Like I've known that there was something big coming, and more than that, I played a part in it. I had a big part to play, but I didn't know what it fucking was, and it's driving me absolutely insane for months. But I was talking to a magician. I actually had a one-to-one with him over Zoom, and I explained all this to him, and I said, like, I don't know what it is, though. How do I work out what it is? And he went, why do you need to know? And I went, so I can prepare, obviously, you know, and be the best version of myself for this thing. And he went, well, maybe it's just you. Maybe you just are what you are, and that's exactly what will, you know, the situation will need. Exactly at the point where it becomes needed, you know, like there isn't really any preparation to do because it's just all about you. And I was like, oh, that's smart. Yeah, I didn't really think about it like that. And then as I have been, like since I spoke to him, actually, I've been getting a lot of people telling me about how I have changed their lives. And some people it's in really, really big ways, and other people it's in like little ways, and sort of not really detectable from anybody outside's point of view. But it's little tweaks in the way that they perceive things, and that can have a massive effect. So it feels like, you know, the more people that get on board with me, and the more people that listen to me, and importantly, the more people who start, if they are able and they're feeling strong enough to undertake shadow work, it's like a fucking mass raising of consciousness. Like, it's like, I'm so proud and so fucking humbled to be part of it at the same time. It's like, wow, absolutely mind blowing. I'll stop talking now and read. I'll put the curtain down and the sun's coming down. Tarot Empress. Yeah, face to face. What I didn't like about Tarot Empress is that like her readings would be like 8 minutes long, and of that 6 of it was her shuffling cards, and then she'd basically end up giving you 2 sentences and then going, if you want to join me to the extended, I'll be over here. And I'm like, but you haven't really. She just kind of like waved a nugget of something at you and then fucked off. Like, do you know what I mean? And I was like, she's probably a very, very good tarot reader. But, well, no, she is, because she was picking up on things, but she never really gave you much in that small period. I don't know. Like, I don't like shit talking other tarot readers. That's not my intention. I would have liked to have seen her extend the reading a little bit, give you a bit more information, and then put you over to the extended. That's my point of view. Nova Scotia, cool. Oh, I'm glad, Jen. I'm glad that it's been helpful. All right. I am pretty straightforward. There's no subtext with me. I'll tell you exactly what I think. Oh my word. Twin flame Geminis. I bet that was an experience. Fucking hell. Yeah, huge shift. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it happen all year for the signs, right? And I've been having mine kind of like a different point. I don't really know how to explain it, but like last year, there were lots and lots of points where I kind of like went through an ascension and I was just like, oh, shit. But I'm watching it happen for all the signs now, and it started with the fixed signs. Not collectively so much for Scorpio, because Scorpio's got a lot of work to do. And at this point in time, I don't know how prepared they are to do it or how ready they feel to do it. Obviously, I'm speaking for the collective. I'm not speaking for individual Scorpios. I'm sure there are plenty of Scorpios who've done the work, but I'm watching the cardinal and mutable signs all catching up now. And there is big shift. They're all ascending to one degree or another, and for some it's really profound, and others it's just like subtle shifts, but it's all feeding to something bigger, which I really like. I like that a lot. Nicole, it's really interesting. You say you feel a sense of telepathy. Like sometimes I feel that with like quite often I feel like it's like when I stop, I'm not thinking, I'm feeling. And what I'm trying to do is just ascertain which feelings are mine and what I'm picking up on. Like it's just a process of kind of like, so if I say I got lost in my own head there, I didn't get lost in my own head. I was feeling something and I was trying to kind of work out whether it was my feeling or whether it was like the energy feeling or what. Yeah, it's the thing. Yeah, window to the soul, you're right. It is a journey. It's a hell of a fucking journey, and it's actually kind of excoriating at times. But like I said, I'm all about leaning into the discomfort. So the more it hurts, the more kind of value that you can get from it, I think. Right. You're very welcome, Jessica. Thank you. Rafaela, yeah, I miss Mana as well. I know she went off. I know there was... I know she was having issues with Vimeo and with YouTube, and I know she was getting a lot of attention that she didn't ask for and she didn't fucking want. She said specifically that she didn't fucking want, and it still happened, I think. I actually feel bad because I was subscribed to her, and when she went off YouTube, I haven't actually bothered chasing up to see what she's doing now. I think she moved everything to her own website. I don't know if she's still going or not. Like maybe if somebody does, you could tell me what she's doing, because I should probably check her out. She was very light soul, that one, very light. Ditch Witch Tarot. Hang on, you just asked a question there. Let's see. I lost it. Fuck. I'm falling down again. Like, which tarot books are the most important and influential to you? There's not really any that stand out specifically, in so much as I tend to harvest from them all. Like I'll find something useful in any book about tarot that I didn't know. Like I'm kind of a tarot nerd. So 78 Degrees of Wisdom by Rachel Pollock. It was a really, really good book, really interesting. Secrets of the Waite-Smith Tarot by Marcus Katz and Tally Goodwin. That's a really good book. That's a really good book, actually. I really, really enjoyed that one. But because tarot is such a subjective and intuitive thing, like I genuinely believe that immersing yourself in the subject and learning everything that you possibly can is really, really useful. But it also gives you a big bank of stuff that you can kind of, like I said, just kind of filter what resonates with you, what sounds right, what feels right. You can kind of take that, use it for yourself, and kind of throw the other stuff by the wayside if it's no good for you. Like I said, I don't have a particular interest in reading for love, so a lot of the time, the lovey-dovey shit, like I mean, I know that's a thing, but it's not relevant to my style of reading, so I just kind of kick it out. Rhonda, you're right. Why waste all those traumatic tower moments? And it is a waste. If you don't learn the lesson, it is a waste. Do I believe there are ideal sign pairings for romantic partnerships? That was Courtney One Kenobi. Courtney One Kenobi. No. No, not really. Because most people kind of work off the sun sign. So you might say that, you know, for example, say, I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head now. Like, okay, so I read somewhere that Leo and Aries were a really good combination, and I hands down think that is a fucking awful combination. Like that would never work. If I was the Leo, that would not work because because no, I think a lot of the time some of these are just kind of fairly generic, and they don't take into account the nuances of the signs. Like, you know, Leos get a reputation for being brash and, you know, the center of attention and all that kind of thing, and like actually some of us don't do that, you know. And this is my point, because your sun sign is only 1/12, you know, minimum of what makes up your natal chart. So yes, I am a Leo sun and I am a Leo moon, but I am a Capricorn ascendant, so not really showy. That it kind of mutes off those kind of showy edges. So to that end, you know, there is somebody which, you know, traditionally perhaps a Leo might go well with, but it's not taking account of the fact that, you know, the Venus is in this and the Mars is in that, and, you know, so whilst there might be an initial attraction there between the signs, actually, when they get together, they're going to find that their Mercuries are completely different. And they can't speak the same language. You know, their Venuses are so fucking far apart that they don't speak the same love language, and that's really important. That's hugely important. You know, and they just can't get on. I don't really think sign compatibility is that straightforward, honestly. I'm so angry at air signs. Why are you so angry at air signs? That's hilarious. What signs am I seeing the biggest shifts in? Right, so Leo was the first. I would say that because that was back in 2017 that process started, and that is only really just, that cycle is only just coming to an end now. And in that, Leos were battered down to nothing and had to rebuild. It was a very long, protracted, drawn out process. The other signs, it's all happened this year. Taurus has seen a huge shift, massive shift. But like I said, the cardinal and mutable signs are all starting to catch up now. So there's Cancer is overhauling their life. Like that's an ascension of sorts, because they're really starting to understand themselves and their own value, all that kind of thing. Pisces doing something huge. And because Pisces energy is what it is, I can only kind of, do you know what? I open my mouth and I talk in the Pisces readings, and I always forget exactly what I've said immediately after, but it's not the kind of energy that you can tether down at all. And so for a fixed fire sign, it's kind of difficult to get your head around what it is. But I speak and they listen and they hear what they need to hear, apparently, even if I don't truly understand what it is. But they're going through something really, really big. Sagittarius, huge shift. Sagittarius has been struggling for a very long time, and they've kind of sloughed a lot of stuff off, and they have been reborn. And I'm loving that. I love to see that, because they are incarnate angels. If you know a Sagittarius, the chances are it's an angel in a meat suit. It's like my daughter, and my best friend as well. Who else? Virgo. I was so pleased to do Virgo's reading this month, because they finally turned a fucking corner. This has been going on since, well, I've been seeing it in my readings for at least 7 months, that there was an ending that they were resisting in some way, and I could see that what lay beyond the ending, what was waiting for them, was something tremendous and huge, but they wouldn't let go of the old stuff for whatever reason. And so it's taken a lot of time, but it got there this month. I had the reading for Virgo this month that gave me a lot of heart. I was so pleased to see it. Gemini's been doing some ascending. Libras taking a bit of coaxing out of their shell, but they're getting there as well. I mean, really, is there anyone else? Aries has been kind of writing themselves and getting ready to lead at the fore, which is good. Lead the way. Yeah, I think that's about it. I've probably mentioned every fucking sign there. Any advice for budding online tarot readers? Just be yourself. Just be yourself. I wasn't initially sure that it was possible to get a quality of connection online, the same quality of connection online as you could get face to face with someone, and I was wrong in that. It is, and the connection that I've managed to instantly establish with people who are on the other side of the planet to me is absolutely astonishing, and it really adds to my feeling that we are all, it's further validation, if anyone needed, that we are all connected, we are all one. Basically just different points of awareness and an infinite consciousness and all that kind of thing. It's cool. Don't worry too much about yourself. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a 4K camera. You don't have to have, the perfect lighting, the perfect backdrop, all of that kind of like. That's if you're doing YouTube, obviously. If you're actually just doing like readings over Zoom and stuff like that, then obviously that's not relevant. But like, just do it. Just do it. I fucked around for several months before I actually put anything up on my YouTube channel, because I was like, oh, I need a tripod. Got the tripod. I was like, oh, I should probably get a different thing, and it was just procrastination. I was just worried about doing it, and and then one day I just kind of went, fuck it, and just did it, and then it was fine. So thank you, darling. It's a message from my friend. Oh shit, right, like, Rich, yes, I'm sorry I didn't answer. I have been absolutely balls deep in fucking readings and for YouTube and stuff, and it was really bad timing, but your poem made me cackle like nothing else. Right, it was fucking masterful. I loved it. Right, this is my friend, sent me a poem along with some stuff that he wanted me to do, and I read it out loud to my kids, and they were like, oh, that's horrible. And I was like, yeah, I know, I love it, that's brilliant. So thank you, and I'll get it done as soon as possible, I promise, Rich. Right, sorry for being a shit friend and not responding. Sorry. Where am I? Fuck my life, I'm so bad at keeping up with this chat. Like, I really am. I love the fact that you're all fucking behaving yourself as well. Okay, I'm back. Window to the soul. I've been trying to place your accent. I'm UK and I believe I'm north of you. Depends where you are. See, because I'm the last city before you hit Scotland, I think. Certainly up the east coast, anyway. But I'm not from Newcastle originally, you might tell. Kelly Rose, she doesn't have a website anymore either. I assume you're talking about Mana there. That really wounds me, because she was a real credit to the spiritual community. Like, I'm actually kind of wounded by that. Like, I learned a lot from her readings. I really liked the way that she read. Joe Cossington, I keep getting feelings of a shift and then it stops and reverts. Is that usual? Yeah, that's part of the process. Just go with the energy. don't get frustrated with it. Just ride it, you know, because sometimes it'll keep going, right? But if it stops and it goes back, or it stops and it tracks a little bit, and then you kind of move on, you know, it's just how it goes. Faith C, you are very welcome. Do I have any pre-reading rituals? Clear the energy? Yes. Yeah. I sage like 50 times a day. Look, honestly, actually, I ran out of sage about 3 weeks ago, and I'm waiting for some to be delivered. I use Palo Santo a lot. What else? Oh, I got this little thing, and actually just came today. It's got it's for incense cones. I'm going to light it actually because it's cool as shit. Get a cone. Where are they? They're over there. And it's white sage, but the all the smoke comes out of the wolf smells, and I was just like, oh my god, it looks like Silas. It's so cute. The thing. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. I'm going to do this at the same time as looking at this thing. Other pre-ritual things, pre-editing. Yeah, I do a lot of meditation. But I like sound for clearing energy as well. So, like from the obvious, like little singing bowls. This one particularly, I find really, really powerful. But actually, just fucking music, you know. Really, really love music, and I think the ability for music to lift your mood or put you into a particular space is something that music lovers get and everybody else doesn't. Like, it's pretty profound. I'll just move out of the fucking sun because it's so fucking bright. Like, I cannot even see. Yeah, so like sometimes I'll just put like an hour and a half long fucking hard trance YouTube mix on, and I guarantee I'll be feeling like cleansed of anything by the time that's fucking finished. 100%. Mama to Nana, yes, you should like and accept your voice. Right, your voice is the way that you make. It's the way you empty this out into the world. Right, so just love it. It's a really fundamental part of you. Hang on. Did you commented on the live stream last time, and you said that you'd always hated your voice because it was really deep, and since you started listening to me, you actually started appreciating your voice more. I remembered. Fucking hell. Just look at my memory just sparking off here, there, and everywhere. No, it's good. It's really important. Oh, Heidi. You're Aries and a Leo. Yeah. So I find Aries men really put my fucking back up. Aries women I really, really like. There's you, and there's friend of a friend who's an Aries woman. I don't know, I find feminine Aries energy really, really cool, but Aries men, as soon as they start, I'm just like, This one that I think of is actually like the I won't tell you who he is actually, but he's the head of a regulatory body that I might be, associated with in some way whilst wearing my other hat as a kickboxing instructor. And when I realised recently he was an Aries, it made all kinds of sense. It actually meant I was a bit nicer to him after that as well. So, Scott, one astro reader said that love matches are better match with your Venus signs. Yeah, but like love's only like a tiny part of compatibility. Ultimately, Venus really is only about how you feel the love and how you express it to other people. But there's so much more that goes into making a relationship than just your love language. I feel like you can't really nail it down too much. It's about a lot of things, but it can be just about as much about how much effort you want to put into something as anything else. A woven soul, have you had past experience with children dealing with their twin flames? No, I would say so far it seems to be a uniquely adult experience. So I've come across it. I've never come across any children twin flame stuff, although there's absolutely no reason Well, no, there is. Actually, I was going to say there's no reason why there wouldn't be, but actually there is, because the meeting of the twin is designed to make you do work on yourself. And in order to do that, you have to be of an age to understand that working on yourself is something that can be done, that has any fucking merit at all. And I think most children are not at that level of self-awareness yet. I know a lot of adults who don't sit at that level of self-awareness, so it's not something that I would expect children to deal with all my fucking life. How often should you check out your natal chart, Kelly? Well, I did mine and I printed it out and I look at it occasionally. I think the transits are more useful to look at more often. I had there was an astrologer who did my transits for me back in December, and I actually found that enormously useful because your birth chart doesn't change. It is what it is. But the transits, as the planets are moving around, have different effects on stuff. And so I use the Astrology app, and that's really, really cool because it like not only is it savage as fuck, like if you follow me on Instagram, like some of the shit that talk about calling you out on your own shit, like this app does it to me all the time. It's savage as but it is also incredibly accurate, like eerily accurate, and that takes note of what is moving around where and how it will affect you, given your things. I never employ certain signs. I couldn't possibly endorse that as an approach, but I can understand it. Yeah, maybe. And Unbound, you are very welcome. I really liked the shadow read for Scorpio, and it was one that I was really excited to do, actually, because, well, not only do I find Scorpios absolutely hypnotic, like to my own detriment, but like I really respect your intensity, and the Scorpio is the one sign that walk around knowing they've got a fucking shadow. Right? The rest of us kind of happen upon it over time, but Scorpio really fucking understand it. So, Christy Carter, can you please explain what shadow work entails? Because I'm really confused on it. So, the way it works is, like, when you're born, you're kind of whole, right? And you are subject to, right? You have drives and you have desires and you have emotions and all these things when you're very, very young, right? And little by little, from being tiny, you understand that when you display certain behaviors, you get a negative reaction from your supporting network, and that is your parents, potentially your siblings, whatever, wherever your like group is there. And so bit by bit, you learn not to do that, right? But those behaviors don't really go away. Those drives don't really go away. What they do is you kind of shove them into this shadow behind you. And over time, what happens is there are certain reactions that you'll have to things. Right? We tend to judge people really, really hard for things when they display behaviors that we've got in our shadow, right? Because it's kind of like a trigger point. Right, so we see someone behaving selfishly, and we lose our shit because actually selfishness is in our shadow. It's a part of us that we don't recognize. We don't make allowances for in other people, right? And this is right across the board in all sorts of things that are considered to be negative attributes, right? Interestingly, we do it with our positive ones as well in some cases. That's a useful thing to note. And as you get older, so you kind of shove more and more stuff in there. And then before you know it, right, you end up kind of projecting things onto other people. So, you know, the people who are, you know, afraid of being abandoned will, you know, sometimes close themselves off to the point that they never make a connection with someone, because the fear of losing that connection is worse than living without it in the first place. You know, I mean, and this is just an example I'm pulling off the top of my head here, but it was a concept that was first termed the shadow by Jung, but actually in shamanic cultures, you know, and other kind of like indigenous stuff all over the world, this concept of the shadow given a different name exists. It's a thing, right? Psychoanalysts, starting with Jung, kind of reckon that up to 90% of your reactions to anything, absolutely anything, are unconscious. Right. So although you think that you are in control of what you are doing and what you are thinking and how you are reacting to things right, left, and center, actually 90% of those reactions are coming from your shadow. And often you cannot understand why you did a certain thing, right? But you did it anyway. And when you pull things out into the light, right, when you go in there and you pull this thing out of your shadow and you understand it and you can track it back and see where it came from, so then you can kind of heal it, incorporate it into you, and it makes you more compassionate to yourself and to other people. It allows you to forgive yourself, and it stops it being able to dictate how you react to things in the same way. I hope I've kind of made sense with that there. Scorpios throw you in the pretzel making machine. Do you know what? I adore Scorpios. I learned a really savage lesson at the hands of a Scorpio, which wounded me greatly, but I learned a lot from it. And they probably would, but only if their own selves were in jeopardy first. You know, how did my best friend put it? If you and the Scorpio were in a burning building and only one of you could get out, you're not getting out. And he was right. That is a thing. That's totally a thing. Why don't people hang out with their shadows more? Have dance parties? Good question. Wilbur's human. Nothing's happened to the Taurus reading except that I just haven't had time to do it yet. Right. Like I said, the last couple of days have been a bit fraught, and I'm working my way through the readings. I did Aries and Pisces today, but I didn't get a chance to upload them before I started streaming. And to be honest, right, doing the readings and then uploading the readings kind of takes less time than doing all the fucking back end stuff, like the SEO stuff and writing the descriptions and fucking tagging the thing and putting the end cards on and all that kind of thing. So Taurus is coming tomorrow, and Sagittarius is coming tomorrow, and also Aries and Pisces that I've already done will also be coming tomorrow. Everything will be uploaded by tomorrow that's outstanding, so don't worry about it. Honestly, is anxiety caused from your shadow? Yeah, 100%. Particularly when it's that kind of low level anxiety that you cannot even really place. You don't know why you feel anxious. You know, the key is to know yourself well enough to be able to start picking it apart and tracking it back and seeing where it first occurred, because there's usually, you know, either one big event or kind of like a series of events, or just the way that you were brought up that causes this kind of shiver into your shadow. When anxiety starts coming out, it's because the shadow is leaking, right? It's leaking into your conscious self, and you don't know what it is. You can't really place it, but it still affects you nonetheless. Heidi, if you're feeling pulled to do it, you should definitely do it. Definitely. Will was human. I enjoy your. Right, okay. I thought that but was you were gonna say I enjoyed your readings, but what this thing? Hey Sharon. Oh, Sharon's in the chat now. Sharon is the person who did this for me. This is my incredibly talented artist friend that I was telling you about, who sent this to me as a gift. All right. Absolutely awesome. I love this so much, Sharon. I really do. In fact, like Sharon's been painting all sorts of things recently. I've been seeing them on her Facebook page, and I've been just like, oh, I'm gonna have to start unwinding some money at Sharon, because, like, no, seriously, Sharon, like, you're awesome. You're absolutely awesome. And your table, the one that you did recently, with the like space on it, he's kind of eyeing it up, like, Hey, Smoke Anon. Are you somebody I know, actually, in real life? I get confused when I don't see, like, real names. The wolf incense solver is fun. It's cool. He's just belching smoke out of his mouth. I think it's cool as fuck. Christy. Yeah, like, I didn't know. I don't know why I decided to do the first live chat that I did in the first place. I was having a towel out in my garden, and I was like, I'm going to do live stream tonight. I'm just going to do it. And I gave everybody like 4 hours notice or something like that. And then it was great, and I really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. And then I was like, why haven't I done this before? This is me. So yeah, this is why we're here doing like number 2, because I enjoyed number 1 so much. Will I consider doing live readings in the future? Yes. Actually, I think I mentioned that on one of the videos. Like, I was thinking about doing something along those lines. But it would probably be like a 1 question, 1 card kind of deal. Because once I start pulling cards and talking, fucking, like, where you've watched my videos, I just fucking talk for ages. Rhonda J, that's a really, really interesting observation. I've never really thought about that, but that would make perfect sense. Absolutely perfect sense. Sharon, the table is still for sale. Okay. Right. Duly noted. I think I'd have to find somewhere, but I think it would look very nice in my house or somewhere, definitely. Christine, want to pull a card for this collective? Oh, really? We're going to do this? If I pull a card for you, now I'm going to have to pull cards for everyone, because that's fair. And then I'm going to be here till like 2 o'clock in the morning, answering people's questions on twin flames and shit. Oh, right. Am I actually at the bottom of this chart now? I think I am. That's been. Did I miss anything? No, I don't think so. Casey, you're very, very welcome indeed. Very welcome. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just saying, Christine, like, I know what it's like, I know what it's like in Greece. I had some friends come over once, and they saw my tarot cards on the side, and they were like, ew, do you read tarot cards? This is going back like 2.5 years. And then I ended up being sat doing like tarot. Well, I tried to do tarot readings all night, and then drink a bottle of red wine, and I was wasted, and I didn't do it anymore. I am basically sat chatting to myself. Sharon, this is what I do. Like, this is literally my job now. Like, honestly, I need the feedback from comments and stuff like that on my videos. Otherwise, I literally just sit and talk to myself. I look at pretty pictures, hallucinate, talk to myself, and then fire it up the fucking internet. Like, it's quite an interesting job description. Go do adult stuff, window to the soul. Whatever it might be. Enjoy. It was very nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. I very much appreciate it. You're going to ask about the Phoenix. Yeah, man. Do you want me to get it down? Oh, actually, yeah. I'm going to get it down. It's really, really pretty. Oh. So, oh, shit. Dismantling my fucking house for you people. Right. This is my Phoenix. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? right? I bought this from Crete last year. I've been at a souvenirs market with my kids, and I've been right around the whole thing like 3 times. I hadn't really seen anything that I liked. I bought a mug that said Crete on it. I quite like that. And just as we were getting ready to go, I sort of turned around, and the sun was just like much like it is now. The sun was kind of streaming through the side of the market and just lit this thing up like a beacon. And I went, that is a fucking phoenix. That's got to come home with me. And I went over to it, and I was like, oh. And I said to my son, how the fuck am I going to get that home? But actually its wings come off, which is quite useful though. I'm not going to pull it apart here now, but yeah, you can detach its wings. So it came back in like 2 pieces in my suitcase and my son's suitcase, and it was wicked. And I knew exactly where I wanted to put it when I saw it, and it's just so beautiful. I love it. I really, really love it. So put it back up there. Oh my fucking life. What? Oh no, its wings come off. Well, there you go. There are the detachable wings. Excuse me a second. I'm just going to put them back on. Right. Fucking hell. You see, I usually do all this sort of shit off camera when I'm fucking dropping things and just generally acting like a potato. I don't usually have an audience of 121 people when I'm doing it. Don't worry, it's fine. Don't be sad. It's not broken. But I am going to put it back up before I fucking drop it again and break it. Ugh. Right. It's a little bit like it's got to lean to the left now, but it's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. You talk to yourself so you can hear someone intelligent speak. I actually do talk to myself an awful lot, and I do believe I've used that as something about maintaining the quality of conversation. Actually, just kind of wear away to myself. Good night, Christine. What led me to tarot reading? Oh, I don't know. I've always had an interest in the occult, and by the occult, I mean hidden, which is the true meaning of occult. And yeah, I just kind of discovered tarot cards. Somebody I commented on my Instagram or something recently about how they'd come to tarot through the opening titles of Tales of the Unexpected, and I was like, oh yes, I remember that. That was cool. I don't know, they've just kind of always been on my periphery. I think my aunt used to read tarot as well. I don't think I ever saw her cards. I saw them in the cloth bag, but I didn't know what they were at that point. I would have been like fucking 6 or something like that. So they've kind of been on my periphery for a long time, and then I just got a deck, and then that was kind of that. Laura, don't worry, it was no trouble, honestly. And I just dropped it because I'm a potato. Are you laughing at me again, Sharon? Oh my God. Yeah, like that whole my head lining up with it. Right. Somebody said, oh, I assume you do that on purpose. And I was like, no. No, not at all. Why would I do that on purpose? That's weird. Like, yeah. But a lot of people comment on it. It's literally just because I haven't got very much space in here, that I can lean against the I can do my thing. I can lean against the windowsill and put my leg up there, which I quite like. And that's why it looks like it's coming out the top of my head. Head wings are cool. Yeah. Is that right, Shani? Loads of readers have picked up the Tower of Fool for June. I'll be interested to see what comes out when I do Taurus tomorrow. Then What stone is it on my ring on my left hand? Oh, Kim, it's a moonstone, and I got this literally the other day. In fact, the same shop that I bought this from in Newcastle. I discovered the other day that they were doing deliveries, and I suddenly got it into my head that I needed some tourmaline. So I was looking for a tourmaline ring, which is this one here. But while I was looking, I noticed that she had some moonstones as well, and I love moonstones. So I got that, and I got the tourmaline as well. I've got one on each hand now. The light and the dark, duality. Look at that. Yeah, and that one. Yeah, that one's got a story as well. But Taurus is the tower this month. Ooh, that's an interesting thing to say. I see that you smoke. How do you keep stamina up when kickboxing? I kickbox a lot. Like when not in lockdown, I am in the gym probably 4 or 5 times a week. To be fair, I don't usually smoke this much anyway. It's just, nerves. Is it nerves? No, it's not nerves. I'm not suffering from nerves. When I'm talking a lot, I tend to smoke a lot. Like if you've ever come to my house and I put a cup of coffee in your hand and the sun's out and we're sitting in the backyard, I will pretty much just chain smoke because helps me think. Maybe, I think. I don't know. But I guess I'm pretty fit. Not as fit as I was before lockdown, interestingly. I think my cardio's gone off a cliff, actually, to be fair, but never mind. The Isis statue is cool. That came from Egypt. I went to Egypt in 2006, I think, and it was one of the few things that I saw in one of the Egyptian markets that I really, really liked. And most of them were all like painted, and they were all quite gaudy. And then there was just like 2 or 3 of these black ones at the back, and I was like, oh, one of them. Thing weighs a fucking ton. Like, it's made of stone. I don't know what kind of stone it is. Is it stone? No. I don't know. But it weighs a fucking ton. You could kill someone with it, no question. And I just like it. It just sits there. Sounds good. Christy, the Leo reading was intense, and I was so pissed off. Like, I was actually livid by the end of that reading. Because I've been so proud of the Leo collective, like everything that you've gone through, we've gone through in the last few years. Like, the last couple of months' readings for Leo have just been fucking on fire, and they were really, really awesome. Like, really starting to feel the benefits, truly start to see the difference that all the work that we've done had made. And then some fucking crap ass comes along with the manipulative, like, bullshit bollocks. Like, I was raging. I was absolutely raging. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm waiting to see. I have a list of a few names that I think it might refer to in my own head, like when they come along. To be fair, there are very few people who could make me feel like that now. So we'll see. Like, I am enough of my own person now, I think, not to suffer too much at the hands of someone else. So I'll be interested to see what manipulation comes to light in June, because, yeah, like I said, smoking on, yeah, Taurus tomorrow, definitely, 100%. Fucking how tall are you? Joni, this is so weird. I knew somebody was going to ask me that question. I have absolutely no idea why. It just popped into my head that at some point somebody was going to ask me how tall I am. I'm 5'8". In the socks. But I do like new rock boots. I don't know if you've seen, I wear them sometimes when I'm doing the readings. I've got my feet up on the wall, and I am sort of 5'11" when I've got those on, because I like being tall. I think I probably give off the impression of being quite tall. I had an ex-boyfriend once who told me that I projected a physical stature that I didn't actually possess, because in his head I was much, much taller than I actually was when I was in my socks. So there you go. a woven soul. My room is lovely, right? I don't know if you can see, but like I've got bookshelves everywhere. Like this is my library. This is where all my books live. And I've got along this wall here. Actually, this is the curve. I thought I'm going to turn it to show you like behind the scenes, right? There's a wall here, right? And it's a straight wall, but it curves around here. Then along this wall, I've got loads and loads of bookcases as well. I'm literally sat in a little turret that just sits out from the front of my house. So it's a tiny little space. That's when I laughed when somebody said, "Oh, you've obviously put yourself there deliberately so that the wings are coming out of your head." And I was like, "No, I literally just don't have it in a room." Yeah, if I hung it anywhere else, you wouldn't see it, and I wanted you to see it. So there it is behind me. I was smoking. I can't walk down to my mailbox. Like, wait, you need to start doing some exercise, right? Smoking's terrible for you. It's really, really bad. And I'm kind of ready to give up, to be honest, but not quite ready to give up. But if you're doing shitloads of exercise, then your lung capacity will increase. Actually, it will, even if you smoke loads. Probably shouldn't say that's not a good thing, but it is. You know, it's a thing. Wilbur wants to know, since you won't marry me, will you marry him? I find the notion of marriage slightly objectionable nowadays. I'm just gonna throw that in there. I was married once. I tried it. I didn't really like it. So there you go. Oh fuck! Where are you? Hannah Shepherd, 5'11" and 6'2" in boots. Yes, tall women represent. I really, really like that. Although I'd probably be a bit intimidated if I met you in the flesh, because you'd be like so much taller than me, and I'm kind of not used to women being taller than me. It always kind of throws me a little bit. I'm like, what are you doing up there? Come down. Gaia Travelogue. Please support my new YouTube channel. What do you do, Gaia? Like, I'm assuming you're kind of traveling around as a travelogue, obviously. I like your name. Tell me what you do. Enlightened Leo, they get in the tower, it seems. You're dealing with the Taurus. Okay, well, let's see what Taurus holds tomorrow. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate it. Case in my boots are mint. Do you know how old those boots are? I've had them for I have had them for 11 years now. I had them resold last year. I've got like 3 other pairs of New Rocks as well that I wear quite often. And oh my god, excuse me. That's my fucking dinner coming back on me then. Yeah, I just love them. I love them so much. Gaia, I saw lovely books on your Insta. I love books. My house is full of books. Like, I've got loads of books in here, but I've got a bookcase in my bedroom as well. I've got fucking stocks of books everywhere. You're very welcome, Joni. I'm 5'3" if I stand really tall. My daughter is 5 foot. Well, for years, right, she's been telling everybody that she was 5'3.5", and I actually measured her last year, and she was 5'2.5". She was like, my whole life is a lie. I'm 4 inches shorter than I thought I was, and I was like, She tried to tell me she was the same height as me the other day, and I was like, no. Gaia, I'm glad that your voice makes me sleep. It makes me sleep, makes you sleep. I've heard that a lot. It's quite a thing. What did you say there, Heidi? Same height as your husband. Legs for days. I have got legs for days, but it's because I've got a really short body. Like, that's the thing, right? My legs are almost the same length as my son's, and he's like 6 foot somewhere. But my body's really, really short, so he like towers above me. But I got lots. A friend of mine once said that she'd been talking to her girlfriend, and they decided that fighting me in kickboxing was probably like fighting a spider, because it was just all limb. And I was like, thanks, I think. I mean, probably not wrong, to be fair. Can we please meet your wonderful dog? Oh, my dog's not allowed upstairs because he's really, really big, and he's got a lot of shepherd in him. And so I, like, when I first got him as a puppy, made it very clear to him that he wasn't allowed to come upstairs. So occasionally, and by occasionally I mean probably like 2 or 3 times in the last 4.5 years, I've let him come upstairs. He came upstairs actually on New Year's Eve because there was loads of fireworks going off and he was getting a bit upset downstairs, and I was up here doing witchy things. So I got him to come up and sit up, and that's when I took a picture, and he was sat behind me, which is what he always does when I'm doing witchy things. He comes and sits behind me. I don't know why, but he does. I mean, I could see if he'll come upstairs, but he's pretty well trained. So sometimes I tell him to go upstairs and he goes, "No, I'm not allowed." I don't know. Do you all want to see him? Da, 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 da. 4'6". Whoa. Ooh, what are my preferential tastes in music? Oh, you will hate my music. No, so I love music. I absolutely live for music, and I have done since I was like fucking 10. I think I got one of those old-fashioned stereos with like the double tape deck on it, and the the like vinyl thing on the top, and the radio. And I used to rush home, be like at the stereo at 4 o'clock to listen to the top 40 so that I could record my favorite thing onto a tape. I love metal. Right? Metal's a big one. Industrial metal, particularly. Like 9 Inch Nails is my favorite band. By Country Mile, I think I've worn my 9 Inch Nails t-shirts sometimes while I've been doing readings. But I like kind of standard metal as well, quite a lot. What else? I'll listen to most things, but out of preference, it's either metal or electronic kind of dance music. Like I like rave music quite a lot. I've been to quite a few raves. I love trance music. Oh god, I live for trance music. I recently discovered a band called Danheim through listening to Heilung quite a lot. I really like Heilung, and Danheim. Actually, I'm going to say it. I think it's better than Heilung, and it's kind of like Viking kind of music. I guess is the way to put it. It's like I find it very meditative, and it's something that feels like home to me. And yeah, having had a past life regression, that now makes sense. No. Laura, you love 9 Inch Nails. Oh man, I love them so much. Like Trent Reznor is just. I actually £200 in the 9 Inch Nails store like last week, buying shit. So you'll see it, I'm sure, at some point, because I bought a couple of t-shirts as well. I think I've seen them live like three times or something. Skrillex is awesome. I like a bit of Skrillex also. I'll tell you what I just discovered the other day. Sophie. I like really discordant music. I like music that kind of makes you feel a bit uncomfortable as well. And Sophie, all in capitals. So Glaswegian producer. And my son played me this song last week called Face Shopping. And I was like, the fuck is this? This is incredible. I really, really like it. And it led me on to a few different things that I really, really like. But Sophie is awesome. Yeah. And then things like Faith No More, PJ Harvey, My Ruin, all that kind of like metally, gothy, darky stuff. Okay. I can't just goth stuff pretty much. The only thing that I don't like is pop music, actually, usually. I'll even I'm not. I say I don't really like opera that much, but there are a few things like Verdi's Requiem. My God, that is an incredible piece of work, and or any kind of classical music that's got some fucking bollocks to it. I really, really like that as well. So, a Woven Song, yeah, like I really, really love the fact that I've been obsessed with music like while my kids have been growing up, and now my son is 21 in August, and he's introducing me to stuff. He introduced me to Scarlord, and I was like, this is fucking awesome as well. I really, really like this. So yeah, he's teaching me the ways of new music that I probably wouldn't come across otherwise. So I'm extremely grateful for that. Oh, you would love to see my popper. Right. The only thing is, if I go and get my popper, I'm going to have to fuck off and leave you all for a bit. Are you all going to stay here while I go and get him? Like, and he still might not even come upstairs because he's oh, Robert Smith, absolute. Oh my God, I love that man so much. Disintegration is one of the like it's for me, it's the best Cure album I've made. Good night, Tonya. Nice to see you. Any tattoo or two? I've got 2 tattoos. One is a cover-up of the other one, actually. I've got a massive raven on my back. It takes up like 3/4 of my back. Nick Cave. I love Nick Cave. Murder Ballads is one of my favourite albums, and I actually saw Nick Cave at the Sage in Gateshead last year, and it was fucking awesome because I'd been to Download Festival when that was on, and then I came back, and a week later I would see Nick Cave, and I was just like fulfilled. It was fucking awesome. Do your children watch your YouTube videos? Sometimes, not very often though, because they're a bit dull for most children, I think. Go get him. Oh, right. Okay, right. I'm going to go. I would try and get my dog. I'm not making any promises. I'm going to have to make some space for him as well. He's quite big. I don't know if I can fit him in the space that's there. Right. Go and make a cup of tea or something. I'll be right back. Come on. Here he is. Oh. Right, sit. He's lying down. Yeah, there he is. He's taking up all the space. Where's your baby? Hey, come here. Come here. Hi. Show it on your face, not your fucking huge tail. Come here. Come here. There we go. Listen. He took a bit of persuading to get up the stairs, but he's here. He's here. Yeah, say hello, Silas. Who's the best dog? Who's the best dog? Who's the best dog? He's a bit excited because he's never ever allowed up here. So, well, rarely allowed up here. So it's just like, look, clouds. If anybody's got a Malamute, understand my pain. Why I, as a goth, decided to get a fucking white dog. I don't know. He is beautiful. And I did a spirit guide meditation last year to meet my spirit guide. And the whole thing took you to a garden. And as I arrived in the garden, I looked across the way, and right at the bottom of this huge kind of big field was Silas, just bounding from one side to the other. And I was just like, of course you were here. Of course you were here. It's my guardian. And he is. He's my guardian. So all the wolf imagery that you see on the channel, it's because of my wolf. My big, majestic potato. Only. Yeah. Hair everywhere. Yeah, man. He's the best dog. He's the best dog. He's the best dog. He's the best dog. Yes, he's the best dog. He's my best friend. What are you doing? Whoa, dude. This is the only problem is his tail's like 2.5 feet long. So, you know, as soon as he wags it and gets excited, there's just shit flying everywhere. Yeah, that's it. He's gone. Sorry, he's just gone to check out the rest of the room, see what's changed since the last time he was up here. Right, just put that other window. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'll turn that a little bit. You can see him just fucking wandering around. Big majestic potato, yeah. He is a majestic potato. Yeah, he is huge. He's absolutely massive. He is a big baby. He's soft as shite. Like there's not a bad bone in his body anywhere. Like no malice in him. What's up here with me? Yeah, but he is huge. It's funny. Yeah, doesn't matter actually. I'll take that. He's not that shy. No, at all. It's the fucking tail and things. Yeah, he's the best dog. But now that this is literally the entire. What are you doing? Oh, I've got a jug of water down here. He's drinking from my jug of water. I can't even remember what I was going to say then. German Shepherds and Siberian Huskies are your favourite dogs. Yeah, like I really love German Shepherds as well. And Huskies. Yeah, but they've got quite an attitude. Apparently Malamutes are supposed to have an attitude as well, but he's he's quite happy with me being the boss. He doesn't mind. Michael, yeah, it's funny. Like he doesn't quite often when I sit on the floor, he'll come and like try and climb on my lap. That's what he does. And I sit on the floor quite a lot. So I spend a lot of time going, puppy, get out of my lap. But whenever I'm doing anything, if I'm doing cards or I'm doing any kind of witchy things, whatever, he comes and sits behind me. Always does that. And he did it for months before I even noticed it. He is almost as big as a horse eye. Oh, that's nice of you to say, Joe. Rhonda, I am very much what you see. There's what you see is what you get. Like, I'm not saying there aren't layers and depth and stuff, but like I don't hide anything at all. What are you doing? Are you going to come and sit up here or what? All these people want to see you. It's going to lie down on the floor. Does he sing? Actually, if you have a look on the channel, the one and only time that I've got him to sing, so I sat and howled at him non-stop for 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden he started howling back because he doesn't make any noise. He doesn't bark, he doesn't growl, he doesn't really do anything. Actually, he's a silent dog, which is cool because I am quite sensitive to noise, it's an interesting thing that I've got this dog that doesn't make any noise, but once he did howl, and it's on the channel somewhere. It's like 1.5 minutes long, the video, but it is him wooing properly, and it's the only time he's ever done it. So how am I coping with the lockdown? Do you know what? Like it's not been an issue for me at all, and I think it's because, well, I don't know. I live up here quite a lot anyway, and it's almost like I blink and a fucking week goes by, and I get messages from people saying we haven't spoken in months. Is everything okay? And I'm like, just drinking my water. I'm like, really? Has it been months? Like, because I blink and a week goes by. Like I seem to live on a different plane of existence to everybody else. My time moves more slowly. So I don't really like schools. I don't really think that the education system is a good place for children to go, because I think that it's not about the spirit of education anymore. So not sending my kids to school has been awesome. They've learned all sorts of things at home, which is great. And other than that, like, it's really just not being in the gym is the only thing that I've really struggled with. And then I've been really, really busy with the tarot stuff. I was fully booked for tarot readings until September now, so that's keeping me busy. The stuff that I'm doing for YouTube is keeping me busy. Like, I don't really have time to be worried about the lockdown that much. You know, I got size. So cool. See you later, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. It's been really, really mint. Audio sensitive. Ah, yes, you understand. Yeah, it's a big thing with me. Cherry, I agree. It is nothing more than indoctrination, and I don't like that. I'm sorry to hear that, Laura, but grateful for you being an essential worker and keeping everything going. I think everybody owes a debt of gratitude to the essential workers. So I've gone for a lie down there. But yeah, no, I'm not entirely sure how easy it's going to be to get at least some of my children back into school now that they've been off this long. I think education should be very child-centered and child-led, and it's anything but in the education system. And it's not really teachers' fault; it's the government's fault. And I think that they're more concerned with churning out worker bees than allowing anybody to reach their full potential. Yeah, school system did you in. Homeland bound. My daughter's been home educated for the last 9 years. My two brothers were home educated, and and it was something that I've like when my eldest son was very young. It was something that I actually was quite keen to do, and it didn't really happen. Didn't get off the ground. And then obviously more and more children came along. More children. I think it's a valuable thing. I'll put it that way. Oh shit! And the way this king says, clone our kids into the government's way of thinking. Enlightenedly, I entirely agree. My local schools around here, like when they go up to the secondary schools, even in peak summer, they're not allowed to take their blazers off. Right? They're not allowed to roll the sleeves up. They're not allowed to take the ties off. And to me, that's nothing to do with learning. If anything, that makes it more difficult for them to learn because they're uncomfortable. What it's teaching them is to subjugate their own personal feelings of discomfort or whatever to the task in hand, what needs to be done. Right? It's about removing their autonomy, and I do not like that. Do not support that. Kay Brown, what started you into kickboxing? Oh, I was one of those things that was just in my head that it was always kind of like a vague thing that I quite like to do. I'd seen these pictures of people kicking the bags, and I always thought it looked like it would be kind of satisfying in some way that I couldn't really put my finger on. And I remember mentioning it once to my in-laws and them saying, oh no, you want to do yoga or Pilates or something like that, maybe dancing. And I was like, I don't really want to do any of those. I'll do kickboxing. And when I moved to where I am now, I've been here like 6 years or so. I'd been here about a month, and I was like, I'd moved from the Yorkshire Dales, which is, kind of arse end of nowhere, 40-minute drive to the nearest kind of big place, to here, which is like 20 minutes outside of Newcastle City. And I was like, ooh, I wonder if there's a kickboxing place around here. And I Googled it, and there was the gym that I know is my home, was just up the road by my kids' school. And I was like, oh. And so, yeah, I started there. And I went initially because it was something cool that I wanted to do. And I really, really enjoyed it. And it turned out kicking the bag was exactly as satisfying as I thought it would be, to the point where I quite happily just spend an hour kicking a bag. It feels nice, right? Well, it's just a full body movement, and I really, really enjoy it. But it was where I got to know people as well, because I moved up here and I didn't know anybody, and I didn't have a job. My husband was working, and I was at home looking after the kids. So I didn't really meet anyone for ages until I started going to kickboxing. And then my social circle developed out of that. So I kind of went for the kickboxing, stayed for the social thing and the kickboxing, and now it's like a huge part of my life. So and discovered an incredible sense of personal empowerment along the way. So who just wrote that about a farmer's market and a face mask? Oh, you know, Cindy. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. This is not good for human interaction at all. And it kind of feels like that's the point. Although I was doing a personal reading for someone the other day and they gave me a slightly different perspective on it, which was really interesting because I hadn't considered it. And she said that she thought that this, the social distancing stuff would kind of make everybody realise quite how up in each other's faces we were all the time. And it would kind of teach us to be more mindful, more respectful of people's spaces. And I thought that was a really beautiful way to look at it, because it was not one that first occurred to me. And there is definitely something in it. You stop drinking all of my water. What happens if I want some water? He doesn't care. Yeah, so just a different way around. But I've seen it. I've seen people kind of losing their shit because somebody kind of got, you know, to 1.8 meters away from them, and that's like. But there's already a thing that says the science on this is absolute bullshit anyway. So there's a lot of science being ignored in favour of policy, I think. Janie, you're right, we don't let our children be children anymore, and that absolutely destroys me. I fucking hate it. Kim, that's what we do. Like we kind of keep an eye on each other, and he's like, I really do feel like he is an angel of some description. You know, the point at which he arrived in my life, and the companionship that he has given me through all of my dark times. He's just always been there, and he knows me better than anyone else on the planet. And I can have it is bordering on telepathy what happens between us sometimes. Like I'll be just sitting there and I'll be contemplating life and something, and I'll go, oh, I take Silas for a walk. I think he leaps up, starts prancing around, going, oh my god, we're going out for a walk. And I was like, I literally have not moved, my breathing didn't change, nothing. And he heard me. And it happens all the time. How many months out of the year are kids in school in the UK? Yeah, so they would be sort of heading into a summer break soon-ish. They go in the UK. They go from September through to July. Usually like beginning of